Hello class, I welcome you all in this course thesis writing, and we will talk specifically about the abstract. And the word abstract, or the part of abstract in a manuscript, is also called concise summary of research paper. So in research paper, an abstract is a concise summary of research paper, or a thesis or article that provides a brief overview of the study's purpose, methods, key findings, and conclusion. Okay, so the important part of the abstract is the purpose of the study, the methods, key findings, and the conclusions. So it is typically the first section of the paper and serve as a standalone documents that allows readers to quickly understand the essence of research without having to read the entire documents. So, for example, if the reader would like to know the content of your study, so they will just read the abstract. It contains the important details of your study. Okay, and the primary purpose of the abstract is first is the concise summary. Okay, concise summary. So if the reader wants to know about your study, he'll just read the abstract. Why? Because it is the concise summary. Okay, it is the summary of your study. So the abstract provides a condensed version of the entire research paper, which is highlighting the main points in a few paragraphs. Okay, so the abstract is the summary of your research paper. Also, it is the information retrieval. So the readers often use abstract to quickly determine if a paper is relevant to their own research or interests. So it helps the readers decide whether to read the full paper. Okay, so we all know that the entire study have this very lengthy pages or content. So to save the time of the reader, they will just read the abstract. So if they are satisfied and as they read your abstract and for them it is relevant to their study, so that's the time that they will read the entire manuscript. So I think you also encounter this one if you want to cite some article and you put it in your literature background. What you did is you will just read first the abstract before reading the entire research paper. Okay, so that's the importance of abstract. It can also save time to the reader. They can fully understand, not fully, they can have this idea about the content of your study by just reading the abstract, because again it is the summary of the research paper. So before the reader, if the reader is wise, before they will read the full text, they will read first the abstract. If it is relevant to their study, that's the time that they will read the entire study. Also, the third one is it is important as an indexing and database searching. So part of the abstract is the keywords. So for example, if you visit in the ResearchGate or Google Scholar, you will just type the keywords. So by doing that, you can easily retrieve or able to determine if the study is relevant to your study as well. Okay, so again, one of the part of the abstract is the keywords. So the abstract again are used by academic databases and search engines to index and categorize research paper. So they will categorize, for example, this paper is categorized to the business or hospitality management or tourism or in health. So they will categorize or they will sort the paper according to its discipline and concept. So you can easily determine what is appropriate to your study. Just like, for example, in our cabinet, if we have many documents, so we categorize the drawer 1. It is about the request letter, for example, and cabinet 2, it's about the proposals. So by doing that sorting and categorizing, we can easily find the relevant documents. Same with the manuscript or research papers. So for example, you have a study about the health practices of employees in a specific tourism establishment. So you can just search in the keywords and read the category of that particular study. So you can easily find the relevant literature that you can use in your study, that you will put in the literature background or to support your findings in chapter 2. So again, the abstract will typically includes the following. We have this research problem or objectives, which is the brief statement of the research questions or problem that study addresses. We also have this methodology. So that is also part of your manuscript, but you put also the important details in the abstract, because again, it is the, we'll just erase this one. It is a concise, okay, concise summary of a research paper, the abstract. So part of the methodology, for example, in your chapter 1, there is a lengthy pages for methodology, but you will concise it and you will put in the abstract as one of the part of the abstract. And the third one is the key findings. So we can find this in chapter 2. So you will put the summary of the primary results or outcomes of the study, often presented with important statistics or findings. So you also concise the key findings that can be found in chapter 2. And the other thing is the conclusion. So the main conclusion or implication drawn from research findings. And lastly, the number 5 is the keywords, in which the list of relevant keywords that help researchers find the abstract in online databases. That is why when you visit in Google Classroom, Google Scholars, you don't need to type all the words. Okay, you'll just write or type the keywords. For example, health practices, comma, Bohol, Philippines, comma, hospitality management. So just type that keywords, and the Google Scholar will help you to lead to the category of that kind of study, that the study under the hospitality management, under the health practices, under the Bohol, Philippines. So anything, any study that is only in the geographical location of Bohol, Philippines. So that's the importance of keywords. Again, the part of the keywords for the recap is the research problem or objectives that can be found in chapter 1. The second one is methodology, that is also found in chapter 1. And number 3, key findings, that can be found in chapter 2. And conclusion can be found in chapter 3. So in summary, that is the concise summary of your research paper. So that is called abstract. So now let's proceed to the, before we will proceed, overall, the abstract is the critical part of the research paper, as it plays a crucial role in communicating the study's significance and findings to a broader audiences. So you should not neglect the abstract, because this is one of the important part of your study, because usually the students will give shall we say no efforts or less efforts in making abstract, in which it is one of the very important part of the study, because it concises the summary of your research paper. For example, if the reader is not satisfied with your abstract, so he will not read your full manuscript. So that's the important of abstract. It is the first impression. So like for example in a hotel, if your front view of your hotel is not beautiful, it is not attractive, there's a big possibility that your guests will not visit in your establishment, even though you have these elegant rooms, restaurants. But on their first impression, if they are not impressed with your front office or front of the house, they will not enter to your establishment. So that's the importance of the abstract. You need to have the full attention of working on the abstract, okay, because it will attract readers to read your manuscript. So now let's proceed to the specific details of the abstract. But first, we will go to the BSHM unified format, in which we need to follow the format according to the agreed BSHM unified format. First, the abstract must be 250 to 300 words only. Okay, 250 to 300 words only. So you will summarize all your study into 250 to 300 words only. Again, what is abstract? It is a concise summary of your research paper. So all the details must be concise into 250 to 300 words only. And number two, it must be full block. So I will explain it. Explain it later. And it is one paragraph. Okay, so we will have this. We will open the one of the BSHM unified format. Again, 250 to 300 words only, full block, and one paragraph. So all these words is under or in between 250 to 300 words. So we'll not just count one by one. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have this 250 to 300 words. Okay, 250 to 300 words. Next, full block. What do you mean by full block? There's no indentation. Okay, full block, just like a block. It is a block, a square or a rectangle position. Okay, justified in the right side, and there is no indentation. Okay, full block. That's the meaning of full block. And then the third one paragraph. So you can notice here that it is only one paragraph, one long paragraph. Okay, so again, 250 to 300 words only, full block, and one paragraph. Now let's proceed to the parts of the abstract. First, there is an introduction, which is the first part. Second part would be the objectives of the study. Third part would be the methods. The fourth part would be the major result of the study. And the fifth part is the conclusion, which is the last part. So again, the first sentence of the abstract must be the introduction of the topic. Okay, so in summary, we can find this introduction in your rationale. Okay, you can find this in the rationale. Objectives of the study can be found also in the SOP, or statement of the problem. The third part is the methods, can be found in the methodology. The major result of the study can be found in the presentation, analysis, and interpretation of the data, which is in the part 2 or chapter 2. Okay, the results. And lastly, the conclusion can be found in the conclusion part of your study. Okay, conclusion. So the rationale, the SOP, or introduction part of the abstract and the objectives of the study part of the abstract can be found in chapter 1, and the methods can also found in chapter 1. Okay, so I'll just erase this one. The introduction, the objectives of the study, and the methods can be found in chapter 1. Okay, and the major results of the study can be found in chapter 2, and the conclusion can be found in chapter 3. Again, what is the abstract? It is the concise summary of the research paper. So all the information that can be found in chapter 1, 2, and 3, you can size this into a one paragraph that is called abstract. Okay, and it must be in the right sequence or order. So it is not allowable if it is the first one is the chapter 3, then 3, 2, 1, or 3, 1, 2, or 3, 2, 1, 3, or 2, 3, 1. It must be 1, 2, 3. And in chapter 1, we must start with the introduction, objectives of the study, and the methods. So this is the right sequence or parts of the abstract. So we will check one of the sample study of a student. First part is the introduction. So food safety remains a significant concern on the global scale, etc., etc. So we'll not read all of this one. So we'll just find the end part of the chapter 1, which is the introduction. Okay, so this is the last sentence. Okay, this is the last sentence of the first part. So this is the first part, from food safety until to the lack of food safety practices. Okay, that is the first part. Next, objectives of the study, second part. So the goal of this study, again, objectives of the study. So the goal of this study was to determine whether the business, so on and so forth. So we'll just find also the last part of the part 2, or objectives of the study. Okay, so this is the last part of the study, starting from the goal of this study until the result of this study. So this is the part 2. Again, part 1, introduction, part 1. Then part 2, objectives of the study. The third one is the methods. So we will find the methods starting from the researchers distributed the survey questionnaire to the 26 respondents until we'll just read also. Okay. And this is the last part of the methods, starting from the researchers distributed until the one-way ANOVA. Okay, so this is the parts of the methodology. Okay, so this is the part 3. Part 3 would be the methods. Now let's proceed to the part 4, major result of the study. So it can be found in the chapter 2. So let's start with the word. The results showed that there is no beverage department until this one. Starting from the results showed that until the food hygiene. So that is the fourth part. That is the major result of the study that can be found in chapter 2. And last part would be the conclusion that can be found in chapter 3. So starting from the word "the completely" until the last part, services rendered. Okay, so that is the last part, the fifth part. Okay, so you can observe this is the whole manuscript, concise in summary. Okay, first part, introduction, starting from food safety until practices. Part 2, the objectives of the study, start from the word "the" until the word "study." The third one is the methodology, starting from the word "the researchers" until the one-way ANOVA methodology. And then the fourth part, starting from the results show that until the food hygiene. Fourth part, the major findings. And then lastly, the conclusion, starting from the completely until services rendered. Okay, so this is the concise summary of the entire study that is called abstract in full block format. Okay, and 250 to 300 words only, and then it must be in a proper order or sequence, part 1 to part 5. So now let's proceed to the keywords or part of the keywords. So according to BSHM unified format, it must be maximum of 5 and minimum of 4. Maximum of 5, minimum of 4. So we'll discuss the part of keywords as we discuss also the part of the abstract. First is the discipline, which is the first keyword. Second keyword must be the concept. Third keyword must be the methods. And fourth keyword must be the geography. Okay, so what do you mean by the discipline? For example, it is education, business, hospitality management, health, etc. That's the discipline. Okay, the concept is about the concept of the study. Okay, it derives on the title of your study. For example, housekeeping management. So you study about the housekeeping. So the discipline, hospitality. Okay, and then concept, housekeeping or housekeeping management. The third one is the methods. What are the methods that you have used? Okay, you can check also here in the methodology part of your study, if it is qualitative, mixed method, quantitative, or any other methods. And the fourth one is the geography. Okay, the research environment. It is based on the research environment. For example, Philippines, Bohol, etc. Okay, again, the first part or first keyword is the discipline. Example here, hospitality management, health, criminal justice, business, etc. or education. Concept, it is related to your title. So you need to check your title. Okay, the third one is the methods. If it is a quantitative, quali, mixed method, etc. And fourth one is the geography, the location. So we'll check here if it is correct or not. First keyword is food safety practices. So this is wrong. So what is food safety practices or safety practices? This is the same. So the safety practices or the food safety practices is belong to the concept. So according to this sample, they don't have the first keyword, which is the discipline. Third one is the quality management. So this is also part of the concept. So there is no discipline, no methods, and no geography based on this sample. So this is the sample of the output of a students. So we will check this sample research, which is published in a peer-reviewed journal. So as we can see here, business management is part of the what? Business management is part of the discipline. Next is concept. The concept is about tourist satisfaction. Okay, tourist satisfaction. Next, methods. What is the methods? Descriptive method. Okay, descriptive method. And the next is geography, the keyword or location in the Philippines. Okay, business management, tourist satisfaction, descriptive method, Philippines. So this is the sample of the keywords. Okay. So I hope that you have learned something on this video, and please apply what you have learned to your study. Bye bye.